Hey guys, so we're going to start reading The One and Only Ivan again. I hope you all had a good spring break. So get everyone back up to date on what's going on. Um, Ruby has come to the circus, and Stella has been taking care of Ruby, but Stella's foot is getting worse and worse, and she has made Ivan promise her that he will take care of Ruby in case anything happens to Stella. Okay? So, knowing before Mac, before Bob, even before Ruby, I know that Stella is gone. I know it the way you know summer's over and winter is on its way. I just know. Stella once teased me that elephants are superior because they feel more joy and more grief than apes. Your gorilla hearts are made of ice, Ivan, she said, her eyes glittering. Ours are made of fire. Right now, I would give all the yogurt raisins in the world for a heart made of ice. So again, we know now that Stella has passed away. And he is saying that usually Stella was saying that gorillas really didn't feel things. They didn't have feelings. And at this point, Ivan hurts so bad that he wishes he didn't feel things. 5 men. Bob heard from a rat, a reliable source, that they tossed Stella's body into the garbage truck. It took 5 men and a forklift. Comfort. All day I try to comfort Ruby, but what can I say? That Stella had a good and happy life, that she lived as she was meant to live, that she died with those who loved her most nearby. At least the last one is true. Crying. Julia cries all evening, while her father sweeps and mops and dusts and cleans the toilets. When George sees Mac, he runs to him. I can only hear a few words. Vet, should have, wrong. Mac shrugs. His shoulders droop. He leaves without a word. When George wipes the fingerprints off my glass, his cheeks are wet. He doesn't meet my eyes. The one and only Ivan. When all humans have left, I send Bob to check on Ruby. How is she? I ask when he returns. She's shivering, Bob said. I tried to cover her with hay, and I told her not to worry, because you were going to save her. I glared at him. You told her that? You promised Stella, Bob lowered his head. I wanted to make the kid feel better. I shouldn't have made that promise, Bob. I just wanted... I point to Stella's domain, and for a moment, it seems like I've forgotten how to breathe. I wanted to make Stella happy, I guess, but I can't save Ruby. I can't even save myself. I flop onto my back. The cement is always cold, but tonight it hurts. Bob leaps onto my belly. You are the one and only Ivan, he says, mighty silverback. He licks my chin, and he's not even checking for leftovers. Say it, Bob, commands. I look away. Say it, Ivan. I don't answer, so Bob licks my nose until I can't stand it any longer. I am the one and only Ivan, I mutter. And don't you ever forget it, he says. When I gaze at the food court skylight, the moon that Stella loved is shrouded in clouds. Once upon a time. All night, Ruby moans and sniffles. I pace my domain. I don't want to fall asleep in case she needs something. Ivan, Bob says gently, get some sleep, please, for your sake and for mine. Bob can't sleep unless he's on my stomach. I hear a stirring. Ivan, Ruby calls. I rush to my window. Ruby, are you all right? I miss Aunt Stella, Ruby sobs, and I miss my mom and my sisters and my aunts and my cousins too. I know, I say, because it's all I can think of. Ruby sniffles. I can't sleep. Do you know any stories the way Aunt Stella did? Not really, I admit. Stories were Stella's specialty. Tell me a story about when you were little, Ruby pleads. She puts her trunk between the bars. Please, Ivan? I scratch the back of my head. I don't remember things, Ruby, I admit. It's true, Bob says, trying to be helpful. Ivan has a terrible memory. He's the opposite of an elephant. Ruby lets out a long, shivery breath. Oh well, that's okay. Good night, Ivan, and Bob. I listen to Ruby's soft sobs for horrible, long minutes. Then I hear myself saying, once upon a time there was a gorilla named Ivan. and slowly and deliberately I try to remember. The grunt. I was born in a place humans call Central Africa, in a dense rainforest so beautiful no crayons could ever do it justice. Gorillas don't name their newborns right away, the way humans do. We get to know our babies first. We wait to see hints of what might yet be. When they saw how much she loved to chase me around the forest, my parents decided on my twin sister's name, Tag. Oh, how I loved to play tag with my sister. She was nimble, but when I got too close, she would leap onto my unsuspecting father. Then I would join her, and she would bounce on the tolerant Billy until he gave us the grunt, a rooting pig sound that meant enough. The game never got old, although my father might have disagreed. Mud. It didn't take long for my parents to find my name. All day long, every day, I made pictures. I drew on rocks and bark and my poor mother's back. I used the sap from leaves. I used the juice from fruit, but mostly I used mud. And that's what they called me, Mud. To a human, mud might not sound like much, but to me, it was everything. Protector. My family, which humans call a troop, was just like any other gorilla family. There were 10 of us. My father, the silverback, my mother, and 3 adult females, a juvenile male called a blackback, and 2 other young gorillas. Tag and I were the babies of the group. We squabbled now and then, as families will, but my father knew how to keep us in line with a simple scowl. For the most part, we were happy to do what we were meant to do, to feed and forage and nap and play. My father was a master at leading us to the ripest fruit in our morning feast and the finest branches for our night nests. He was everything a silverback is meant to be, a guide, a teacher, a protector, and nobody could chest beat like my father. A perfect life. Gorilla babies and elephant babies and human babies are not so different, except the gorillas get to spend the day riding on their mother's back like a cowboy rides on a horse. It's a pretty great system, from the baby's point of view. Slowly, carefully, a young gorilla begins to venture farther and farther away from the safety of his mother's arms. He learns the skills he'll need as an adult. How to make a nest of branches, weave them tightly, or they will fall apart in the middle of the night. How to beat your chest, cup your palms to amplify the sound. How to go vining from tree to tree, don't let go. How to be kind, be loyal, be strong. Growing up gorilla is just any other kind of learning up or growing up. You make mistakes, you play, you learn, you do it all over again. It was, for a while, a perfect life. The end. One day, a still day, when the hot air hummed, the humans came. Vine. After they captured my sister and me, they put us in a cramped, dark cage that smelled of urine and fear. Somehow, I knew that in order to live, I had to let my old life die. But my sister could not let go of her home. It held her like a vine, stretching across the miles, comforting, strangling. We were still in our crate when she looked at me without saying, and I knew that the vine had finally snapped. The temporary human. It was Mac who pried open that cage. Mac who bought me. Mac who raised me like a human baby. I wore diapers. I drank from a bottle. I slept in human beds. Sat in human chairs. Listened while human words swarmed around me like angry bees. Mac had a wife then too. Helen was quick to laugh, but quick to anger. Especially when I broke something, which was often. Here is what I broke when I lived with Mac and Helen. 1 crib, 46 glasses, 7 lamps, 1 couch, 3 shower curtains, 3 shower curtain rods, 1 blender, 1 TV, 1 radio, 3 toes, my own. I broke the blender when I squeezed 3 tubes of toothpaste and a bottle of glue into it. I broke my toes attempting to swing from a lamp fixture on the ceiling, and I broke 46 glasses. Well, it turns out there are many ways to break a glass. Every weekend, Mac and Helen took me in their convertible to a fast food restaurant where they ordered me french fries and a strawberry shake. Mac loved to see the expressions on the cashier's face when I drove up and said, "Can I have some extra ketchup for my kid?" I went to baseball games, to the grocery store, to the movie theater, even to the circus. They didn't have a gorilla. I rode a little motorbike and blew out candles on a birthday cake. My life as a human was a glamorous one, although my parents, traditional sorts, would not approve. So, we're getting a lot more background now on Ivan, how he's growing up, and he's thinking about how it connects to how Ruby is growing up, and how Not Tag was growing up. Now, we don't know much still about Not Tag, but now we know that he and Ivan and Not Tag were both captured. We've lost Stella, and we can tell that Ruby is not taking it well. And Ivan is trying to deal with that loss as well, and he's often thinking about his own life, his parents, and how they would have handled this situation. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.